Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to evercrisis. Final Fantasy 7 is having a collaboration with themselves. There's a crossover event going on for Final Fantasy 7, evercrisis, and Rebirth, which I'm super excited for, by the way. I'm still not deciding to watch the newest trailer because I don't want to watch too much of a game I'm already going to play in a couple of weeks. So to me, it doesn't seem like I should be able to throw all that away. I want that first time experience while I'm doing the playthrough. So if you guys are watching the trailers, I'm not trying to get any spoilers or anything that's going on. I've watched a couple, and I've also been there for Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers, and they dropped so much spoilers / they told the entire story in that trailer, the last trailer they did. So I'm trying to avoid that possibility. For now, we're gonna jump in and talk about the evercrisis crossover with Rebirth and a little bit of a sneak peek they had for the upcoming content. And then we're gonna talk about everything, the limited and all that. But let's start off with this. The Final Fantasy 7 evercrisis collaboration. What's Final Fantasy 7? Just start with Sephiroth's blade, easy. Take my money. Okay, so we saw this on stream last night. My first thought process was, are we gonna get adult Sephiroth? And if we do, is it gonna be a separate character? Or is it gonna be the exact same character? But this scene right here leaves so much for questioning, like so much. This is coming out on February 15, which a lot to talk about that date as well too. If you guys can see here, it looks like Sephiroth just finished killing something, and from the look on Cloud's face going like, oh, it must have been something big. This probably is part of the demo. I haven't played the demo yet, but my guess is either a big, powerful enemy like the dragon, or a group of enemies, anything that just impressed the hell out of Cloud. Right? This is definitely a tease for the demo, and it's just enough. Yeah, he definitely killed something big. I'm still deciding to play the demo as well too. I think the demo is just the opening of the game, and it carries over a little bit, and some free bonus items. So I don't see why not. But crossover. They basically self-high five. They're like, yeah, let's work together. Final Fantasy 7. There's also a little trailer for the upcoming new chapter, but let me stick to this for now. With that Final Fantasy 7 limited crossover, we are going to get weapons that are going to be limited. And this is a big topic right now, right? So you guys can see here, thank you for playing Final Fantasy 7 evercrisis. As of February 15, we're going to be doing the Rebirth crossover. And in this crossover, you can see the enemy that's going to be a Mount Nibble, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. In addition, crossover limited weapons and gear will be available. Now, if you guys remember, everybody was pretty much polling on multiple things from this. So this is my poll video that I did at the end of the Final Fantasy 9 collaboration, pretty close to the end. I had about 84,580 blue crystals. By the end of this poll session, I was at 15,580. So these are limited weapons. If you guys are going to poll for this, for the weapons, you're going to be spending a lot because you cannot overboost these weapons once this is gone. So this collaboration is very limited on the gear and the weapons. So if the costumes are fantastic, go in the costume, and if you get a weapon, cool, right? It's a bonus. For these banners, you definitely are looking forward to pulling for those costumes because just like any other costume, they just don't come back as far as we've seen. Crossover events can come back. Final Fantasy 9 can come back, right? They can do a big crossover banner rerun, anything like that. But I went in deep. I had a lot, and now I had a little by the end of this. But it did improve my gameplay by tenfolds. But it also wasn't necessary. And I know that sounds crazy, but nothing from Final Fantasy 9 was necessary. Even though these banners are limited, and you probably should only really pull on these if you really, really like the costume, the character, whatever's going on. You know Sephiroth's going to be all over this, right? Sephiroth and Cloud are most likely going to get the most love out of this, costume-wise, weapon-wise, and then the main characters like Aerith, Tifa are probably going to get most of the love, and Red 13 is going to get kicked to the side. But actually, because of the actual chapter itself and everything, we could see Cowboy or Cowgirl Tifa, right? Anyways, I'm jumping here. So my point about the limited weapons and everything is that since the last limited banner we got for Final Fantasy 9, ask yourself, did you pass all the content even though you skipped Final Fantasy 9 crossover event? Like you didn't pull for any of the banners and any of the weapons, or you pulled so little that it didn't make a difference, like you only got one copy and it hasn't been as good as just slapping on a copy that's OB6 on another weapon? Because the only way to upgrade these are with weapon parts, and we get very little weapon parts. And also, if you're already working on Cloud's Final Fantasy 9 weapon or Tifa's weapon, you now have to share, if you pull on this banner of Cloud, you have to share those weapon parts between 2 limited weapons. So you also got to think about that. But for those of you who didn't pull for Final Fantasy 9, and I have a lot of people who didn't, and a lot of people who didn't get anything good on their pulls, and just the costume, the people who don't have Final Fantasy 9 stuff, this is the huge part. They still pass the content. Even though they didn't have Final Fantasy 9 weapons, a lot of people passed the content. They didn't pull for Kuja. Sephiroth as Kuja. They didn't pull for the Kuja Blade. They didn't pull for Garnet Rod. They didn't pull for the Final Fantasy 9 weapons on Tifa or Cloud. And plenty of people still passed the game. So this is still one of those situations where if you really like the weapon, you really like the character, and you have the resources, go for it, right? If you don't, it's not going to slow you down. So don't go, oh no, I got to get everything because it's limited, and these are the most powerful things. Look at Final Fantasy 9 banner. It was crazy good. You still were able to pass the game. It's a gacha game, and a gacha game has to be able to allow new players and players who didn't pull on every banner to continue playing the game, or they lose players. Players are going to leave if they can't pass content, if they miss it on too many things, if the game's boring, right? There's multiple reasons, but main thing is that they still have to balance it, that you're able to play the game even though a banner disappeared. With how quick they pump out banners, the next banner and the next banner is always going to be better. So don't worry. Even though it's limited, you're pulling for that husbando and waifu rule. Always, right? You can see on my account, that's my main one from day one. I've got 93,000 blue crystals ready. I'm still considering pulling, not considering, I want to pull for Yuffie. I like her character, right? Not as much as Red 13 and Vincent, that's going to come out soon, hopefully. But I did pull for her Moogle costume. You're going to be seeing a pull video for that soon. And I will be pulling for this if the Final Fantasy 9 collaboration doesn't just dominate it with some cool ass looking weapon or costume for one of the characters I like more, right? But as of now, my plan is to go 1 card deep for this. Because the last pulls I did over 70,000, I went a lot of cards in. I think we're on page 3, going on 4, or we just landed on 4 by the end, right? So for this, I definitely want to still go for this, but it is February 18th when this is ending, and the collaboration starts on the 15th. And this is why you should always wait to see what's going to happen before you pull in a banner, even on the last day. Usually they don't give us a timeline or anything. This time we got a timeline. We know there's new Final Fantasy banners coming out on the 15th. So once the 15 drops and I see the first banner, because they're most likely going to give it into multiple sections, I'm going to be like, okay, that first one, I see what they're going to be doing with the content. I see what they're going to be doing. Because usually the banners are almost the same. Right now we're getting all these win stuff. Last time we got all these reductions, buffing, right? They have a theme usually. So Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is going to have a theme. And we're going to tell off the first banner. And then we're just like, okay, now Tifa's going to get one. Now Cloud's going to get one. Now Sephiroth's going to get one, right? In some sort of the similarity. So I'm going to wait. I wanted to pull. I was going to pull a couple days ago and just go ham on this. Because I really want to get Yuffie to work with her double buffing. Which there might be some AoE buffs coming out in this as well too. Or just like her, where she buffs herself and someone else. We might see something else completely different. More 3 ATB weapons. So overall, looking forward to Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I'll be streaming that. I don't know if I'm going to do a 24-hour stream like I did for Kingdom Hearts 3. But since I have my 2 girls I got to take care of, right? Waking up them for school and everything. I'm definitely going to do a big stream and continue streaming straight until I beat the game and do all the side content and everything. I usually play games very thoroughly, look for everything on the map, fight every enemy I can, do everything. So Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth playthrough will be on my Twitch channel, and I'm looking forward to that so much. I've told this on my stream before, and a lot of people ask this question, why do you like Final Fantasy 7? Final Fantasy 7 was actually the first RPG game I played. Before that, I grew up on Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and then PlayStation 1, I played Mario, Sonic. I played every game, even when it came to like PlayStation, Crash Bandicoot, some racing games like Need for Speed Underground, a couple of shooters are in there, and I never really experienced a game that was more strategy versus all the games I played were skill, right? So like Mario, Sonic, fighting games, racing games, they're all skill-based. You don't have to upgrade any stats. You don't have to like find gear, look for hidden enemies or summons and find materia, right? There was no strategy in the games I grew up with. And then I found Final Fantasy VII, first game of the series, first game of RPG, and I was lost in it. Like emotionally, loved it, and I spent hours and hours and hours. So I'm so freaking hyped for this because 7 was the reason I play the games I play today. Jump into Persona games, right? Persona 5, other turn-based RPG games, The Legend of Dragoon. It just goes on and on and on how many games I started looking into because of Final Fantasy VII. So it's not just a hype train for me. I actually got a binder full of games from my uncle, and I saw a game say Final Fantasy VII in it. I'm like, oh, what's this? Popped it in, and I never turned back. It's been a roller coaster of great games from there. So to me, this game means a lot. It was the stepping stone to so much that I've done in like whatever I played and whatever I'm going to pass down to my kids if they ever want to play video games, right? So love this game. I can't wait for it. Everything else on the updates is not worth talking about besides a new chapter, dungeon ranking, totally worth talking about, but I feel like I already pushed forward so much. New chapter coming out, looks really cool. There's a trailer on Twitter if you want to watch it out, and we got a new difficulty of very hard crisis dungeons. I'm ready. I want to go play the demo, but I'm also want to be super patient. I don't know, man. By the way, this one's weird. This is coming out on the 8th, and it doesn't end until the 20th, so more than 30 days. So hard to get free blue crystals off this, and crisis coins, right? It feels like mithril ore, we're not going to be getting in big quantities because of this. Over 30 days, right? March 20th, it comes on the 8th. That sucks. And then, of course, we've got the dungeon ranking, which is actually fire and lightning. I'll talk about this in a separate video, but pretty straightforward. We'll have all the guides out for this, do our first run, no overboost run, and try to get it done. This is going to be happening on the 8th as well, too. So, February 8th, big days. That's going to be pretty much tomorrow from this video. But yeah, super hyped. Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 7 is collaborating. I can't believe it. It's amazing. I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be great. Tons of things coming. If you guys got a bunch of blue crystals, get ready to go deep like I did. Spent 72,000, I believe, blue crystals in the last crossover. It made a difference on my account, but I could also pass the content without it, and you guys see me do that with Murasami Lightning Cloud on the Sephiroth event. I used lightning damage to beat him, and it was totally fine. Huge amount of damage with the costume, so any Arcanium costume you guys got, team, proper setup, you're going to be okay. Even if you miss all this stuff here, you're going to be okay. There's just going to be a lot of cool waifu and husbando stuff. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.